It is late on a quiet Sunday night, and you are lying awake running the exact same financial math again. You carefully calculate your mortgage and student loans, trying to figure out if this month you finally get ahead financially. You constantly keep doing this stressful math because the alternative is accepting that this heavy financial burden is your life. Meanwhile, your neighbor with a similar house and income just decided to take the entire week off without any crisis. He is not magically richer than you are, but he is simply not doing that stressful Sunday night math anymore. My name is Pete, and today we will deeply explore what truly happens when you finally pay off your house. Nobody really tells you that when you pay off that 30-year mortgage, you lose a quietly hidden prison sentence. Let us initially start with the exact numbers, because the mathematical reality here is much more brutal than people realize. The standard monthly mortgage payment actively consumes 43% of your disposable income before you buy a single grocery. Most people with a given mortgage walk around significantly over the strictly recommended financial limit every month for 30 years. You have essentially agreed to be financially strangled in very slow motion until you finally reach your early 60s safely. Let us now look at a normal working couple and see how incredibly fast their solid monthly income just disappears. After taxes and standard retirement contributions, they take home a decent amount, but the massive bank instantly claims a lot. Then, property taxes and home insurance, plus essential maintenance, clearly wipe out even more cash just to legally occupy it. Next come 2 car payments, plus expensive auto insurance and necessary gas, because absolutely nothing is walkable in their suburb. Student loans aggressively demand their share, while health insurance and standard grocery bills completely devour whatever small leftover money remains. They barely have anything left for basic utilities, and we have not even deeply touched clothing or future retirement savings. These normal people are not irresponsible, and they never waste money, but they did everything regular society said they should. Every single financial decision they make heavily gets filtered through one silent, stressful question about covering their massive monthly mortgage. That stressful question always runs in the background of their daily lives, like a computer tab they cannot ever close. When that massive mortgage is finally paid off, they start making completely different life decisions because the core math changes. Many people often get this wrong by either underestimating the massive impact or overestimating the actual cash they will have. When the regular mortgage payment finally disappears, you do not suddenly have the full payment amount available to invest freely. Mandatory property taxes and home insurance plus ongoing maintenance still exist, so your actual freed-up money is slightly lower. But even so, that newly available money is absolutely insane in terms of what it can genuinely do for you. If you securely take that deployable cash and carefully invest it in a basic index fund, the final results amaze. In exactly 20 short years, you could easily see over $1 million because the steady market contributes enormous growth. The vast majority of your eventual wealth will reliably come from compound interest rather than you just working much harder. The friendly local bank will never tell you that their mortgage product is keeping you from $1 million extra dollars. Some smart financial people will argue that mathematically you should invest your extra money instead of just foolishly spending all the extra cash. The clean spreadsheet logic blindly assumes you actually invest the difference instead of just foolishly spending all the extra cash. Most normal people simply absorb that extra cash into lifestyle creep within 18 months and then have absolutely nothing eventually. The clean spreadsheet also assumes you always have the psychological strength to watch your specific investments drop during market crashes. Watching your stock portfolio drop is a fundamentally different experience when you completely own your home outright and stay regardless. Actual peer-reviewed research clearly shows that carrying significant debt heavily pairs with cognitive functioning issues in measurable negative ways. You have been making all your major financial decisions from a psychological state constantly compromised by the daily debt stress. If your specific mortgage rate is very high, then an aggressive payoff easily becomes a guaranteed return that beats alternatives. The real genuine answer to this specific debate is not just a specific interest rate, but deeply knowing your habits. Formal studies clearly show that when normal people completely eliminate their personal debts, their clinical anxiety drops 25%. Ordinary people literally made better decisions and became measurably less impulsive once they completely eliminated their heavy outstanding loan burdens. The human brain does not really care about the specific dollar amount as much as it cares about closing tabs. The heavy mortgage is the last open tab humming loudly in the background, and completely closing it brings wonderful peace. Dedicated researchers clearly found that carrying high personal debt correlates with higher blood pressure and worse health, causing bodily stress. The long mortgage is not just a standard financial obligation, but a heavy physiological burden your entire body feels every day. When you aggressively pay off your family house early, your required monthly expense floor very quickly drops by thousands immediately. Eliminating those strictly mandatory costs heavily reduces the total amount of money you need to achieve absolute financial independence massively. You have not ever earned more money, but you have fundamentally changed exactly what basic daily survival costs your family. When daily survival requires maximum income, you simply cannot easily afford to leave a job you hate or start businesses. You are financially indentured because the strict mathematical reality of your required monthly payments makes taking any risky chances impossible. The standard mortgage is effectively a 30-year strict employment contract that you willingly signed without fully realizing the consequences. Credible research shows that improved housing security predictably leads to significant, reliable increases in brave new business formation and entrepreneurship. Every single hard-earned dollar firmly trapped in a mandatory monthly payment is a dollar that cannot absorb risk today. Without the heavy mortgage, you can easily take a new role with more meaning and slightly less salary, feeling secure. One single bad quarter no longer means you lose the house, so your daily choices transform because the math transforms. Now we must be completely honest, because the big house is not entirely free once that initial loan successfully vanishes. Unavoidable property taxes are not ever going anywhere, and they have actually gone up significantly across the entire nation recently. Homeowners insurance has jumped massively, and you clearly still need to budget for those inevitable expensive repairs that homeownership demands. Your completely paid-off home still strictly costs a decent steady amount to simply own and maintain every single month. But that newly freed up money still securely compounds into a massive, incredible, life-changing fortune if you plan well. Let us now talk about who actually reaches this glorious finish line, because the demographic statistics tell a vital story. While many older homeowners are currently mortgage-free, a shockingly low percentage of normal working-age homeowners actually have succeeded. The rising median first-time homebuyer age obviously means a standard loan extends well into what was called retirement. We are dragging huge housing debt into retirement at a massive national scale that has never happened in American history. Only a tiny fraction of modern Americans are completely debt-free, making this absolute freedom an extremely rare human achievement. Joyful people who cross that ultimate finish line consistently report a very profound kind of silence they never knew missing. So how do you actually successfully accelerate this massive payoff? Because the reliable core math is extremely compelling and obvious. Over 30 long years, you will easily pay much more to the bank in pure interest than the house cost. Switching to basic bi-weekly payments surely costs you nothing in daily lifestyle, but it shaves off years, saving absolute fortunes. Throwing extra money at the initial principal shortens the timeline dramatically and completely kills hundreds of thousands in unnecessary interest. These are not huge heroic sacrifices, but they are exactly the difference between living completely free early or waiting forever. What should you actually correctly do on the glorious day that your very last monthly mortgage payment finally fully clears? First, you must actively verify that your specific lender actually filed the release so you legally own what you bought. Second, you must immediately rebuild your emergency fund because your cash reserves are almost certainly thinner than they should be. Finally, you must intelligently deploy that former payment into maximum retirement accounts and broad index funds completely, building lasting wealth. The heavy mortgage was always a strict permission slip you had to silently ask for whenever you wanted something different. For most regular adults, the long mortgage is the invisible hand with the tightest grip, shaping every single major decision. When it is completely gone, you can finally make decisions based on what you genuinely want rather than bank requirements. That is the massive life change nobody talks about, but it is absolutely the single one that truly matters most. You will no longer be running that stressful Sunday night math because you successfully ran toward the actual finish line. Thank you for watching today. Please firmly like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell.